Hello children, today we are going to learn about Charles Baudelaire and his famous poem Be Drunk. Charles Baudelaire was a famous French poet, an essayist, an art critic, and he is known for his famous work The Flowers of Evil. He was a mid-19th century French poet, and he questioned all the established order of the world because he was really portraying himself realistically in his poems, and he was deliberately profane and irreverent throughout his poems. We can see a deeply of a sexual tone or eroticism in his poetry, and he was a drug user. Drug user from his quite an early age, and he was influenced by many writers got influenced from him because of his modernist and style. T.S. Eliot got influenced from him because of his modernist style, because of his the manner of dealing with many subjects which are really close to people or really humane in nature. And throughout his poetry he reflected his own life, and he was following a really unconventional way of life. You can say a bohemian way of life. And from his father, Mr. Charles Francois Baudelaire, introduced him the world of art, and he had a strong love towards his mother. But his father died quite an early age, and this made him more closer towards his mother, or made him and he said that it was a verdant paradise of childhood loves. He considered his childhood with his mother as like a paradise, a greenish full of life, full of energetic time of when he was more closer towards his mother. But his joy was short-lived. His mother married another person called Jacques Zopic, and critics have attributed many excesses of his life towards this traumatic incident of his mother's remarriage. And he wrote to his mother once, "There was in my childhood a period of passionate love for you." And his stepfather's death really brought him back closer towards his mother, and he declares with more happiness, more pride, that I belong to you absolutely, and that I belong only to you. We can see he was more into the mother fixation. He couldn't actually come out from his mother's love. Usually boys or children come out of their mother's love at the age of 5 or 6. But he couldn't come really out from his mother's love. We will learn more about it when we learn the theory of psychoanalysis and Oedipal complex and all. And his maiden works is made like The Lesbians, or Les Limbs, the limbs. And in these poems he was seeking, or he was representing the melancholies of modern youth, the problems, the trauma faced by the modern youth, or the youth generation of his time. And he was more popular in Parisian cultural milieu, the city of Paris, and then as an art critic also. And he proposed this theory of modern painting in Salon's literary series. Yes, he talked about romanticism, and he takes the readers through paintings of Delacroix, and he was a French artist who painted the lion hunt, you can see in the picture. And also he also talked about, or took the readers through the paintings of Ingres. Jean Auguste Dominic Ingres was a French neoclassical painter, and he described all these things in his literary series Salons. Then, yes, in 1857 he published The Flowers of Evil. It was a book, a collection of poems which had themes of sex and obscenity, eroticism, and six of his poems were also banned from this book. And it was dealing with sex and lesbianism in this work. And this work had new themes which I already mentioned earlier, like he was modernist in style, and he was dealing with the raw human emotions, and he was original in style. And I told you he was also made to pay heavy fine for his publication of for his poems, which was really against the moral standards of that time. And later, the six poems which were not included in that, six poems which was banned, published in 1866 in Belgium in the work The Wreckage. WRECKAGE, Wreckage. And in this book we can see the flowers of evil. We can see it was dealing with original sin, matter of original sin, and his disgust towards evil, and obsession with death, and also aspiration towards an ideal world. All these things were dealt in the flowers of evil. And we can see he was already looking for the artistic beauty, expressionism, expressing himself in his work. We can see the person as such in his poems. And he also blamed his readers for the hypocrisy or the double standards in his the prefatory or introductory poem to the Flowers of Evil, which was to the reader. And coming towards the next point, we can see that he was a translator of Edgar Allan Poe, the famous American poet. His works, he was the translator of Edgar Allan Poe's works also, and has translated the mesmeric revelation of Poe. And he admired the visionary quality of Edgar Allan Poe, and both the poets, Charles Baudelaire and also Edgar Allan Poe, lived in addictions and depressions. And both of the poets embraced mysticism, or concerned with more of macabre or serious or gloomy attitudes of life, and they were grotesque in their writings. That is deformed type of writings, or misproportioned type of writings. And Charles Baudelaire wrote two provocative essays, that is the Saloon Day 1859 and also the Painter of Modern Life. Yes, Painter of Modern Life. And the Painter of Modern Life, the work, anticipates Impressionism. And what do you mean by Impressionism? Yes, Impressionism, as you can see in the picture, it is an artistic movement characterized by their thin brush strokes. See the picture itself, you can find it is thin brush strokes painting. And in 1869, he was published or translated the Parisian Prowler, the famous work. And it was set in urban locale, and it focused on the suffering that he observed in the city. And it is considered and also an equivalent to impressionistic painting. And his poetry just influenced Arthur Rimbaud or Paul Verlaine and Stephen Mallarmé. The symbolists got influenced from his writings. And these symbolists acknowledge they were using more symbols to depict a thing. That is why they are known as symbolists. And symbolists acknowledged Baudelaire as a pioneer of symbolism movement, the movement of symbolism. And Arthur Rimbaud called him the king of poets, a true god. And Marcel Proust, another famous writer, said he is the greatest poet of the 19th century. And these are the certain details of Charles Baudelaire. And in symbolism also, we can say these writers, these poets used symbolic images or indirect expressions they have used to express certain mystical ideas or express certain emotions. They have used symbols. And symbols were also used to express the different states of mind, we can say. And they represented certain truth symbolically through images. Images, any kind of symbols they can use. Symbol of flower, or a symbol of different seasons, or any kind of symbols they have used in their works. Okay. Yes, Be Drunk, the poem. So we have gone through an introduction about Charles Baudelaire, and I hope you understood about a bit of information about Charles Baudelaire. Now, regarding him, we can say that he spent his money openly and freely, because we already discussed that he led a bohemian kind of life, or unconventional way of life. He was never worried about savings, and his poems also contained explicit sexual content. People were those times people were afraid to expose the raw human nature, or people were not ready, society was not ready to accept explicitly showcasing the emotions. But as a precursor to the modernist poetry, he elaborated, or he talked about the sexual content through his poems. And he shows in this poem, he shows the optimistic side of drinking, we can say. He was just supporting the drinking habit of drinking. He's not denying the fact that drinking is a bad habit. He's not supporting that thing. He's openly supporting the fact you have to drink and you have to intoxicate yourself, then only you can enjoy your life. That is what he is advocating. And he pursues us that we should all be in those experiences which actually intoxicates us. Experiences should be like that. We must not be into the slaves of time. നമ്മളൊരു കാര്യത്തിലേക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ടും എന്താ പറയുക, നമുക്ക് സന്തോഷം തരുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളല്ലാണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ഭയങ്കര സ്ട്രെസ്ഫുൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ലൈഫാണ് നമ്മൾ ജീവിക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ യു ഹാവ് ടു ഗോ അവേ ഫ്രം ദാറ്റ് ആൻഡ് യു ഹാവ് ടു എൻജോയ് യുവർ ലൈഫ് എന്നാണ് ദ പോയറ്റ് ഇസ് സെയിങ്. യൂഷ്വലി ആൾക്കാർ എങ്ങനെയാണ് എപ്പോഴും ഒരു 23-24 ഇയേഴ്സ് വരെയൊക്കെ കുട്ടികൾ പഠിക്കും, ആൾക്കാർ പഠിക്കും. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ദേ ആർ ഗെറ്റിംഗ് ഇൻ ടു ദി ജോബ്. ജോബ് ആകുമ്പോഴേക്കും ജോബിൻ്റെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളായി, പ്രഷറായി, ടെൻഷൻസായി. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് എത്ര വയസ്സ് വരെ സാധാരണ ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നത്? 60 ഇയേഴ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 55 ഇയേഴ്സ് വരേക്കും ഭയങ്കര ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഓരോ ജോലികൾ ചെയ്യും. ഫോർ വാട്ട്? ഫോർ മോണിറ്ററി ബെനിഫിറ്റ്, ഫോർ മെറ്റീരിയൽ ബെനിഫിറ്റ്സ്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് റിട്ടയർ ആയിട്ട് ജീവിതം ആസ്വദിക്കാം എന്നാണ് പല ആൾക്കാരും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഓർക്കുന്നില്ല. ജീവിതമാണ്, നമ്മൾ ഓരോ ഡേയും നമ്മൾ ജീവിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ ജീവിതമാണ്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്നൊരു ദിവസം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ ലൈഫിൽ നിന്ന് ആ ഡേ കഴിഞ്ഞു, വി ആർ ഗെറ്റിംഗ് ക്ലോസ് ടു ഗ്രേവ് എന്നുള്ള ഫാക്റ്റ് പലരും മറന്നു പോകുന്നു. ആൻഡ് യു ആർ ജസ്റ്റ് ബിഹൈൻഡ് ദ മോണിറ്ററി തിങ്സ് ഓർ മെറ്റീരിയൽ ബെനിഫിറ്റ്സ് വിച്ച് വിൽ നോട്ട് ഗിവ് യു സാറ്റിസ്ഫാക്ഷൻ ഇൻ യുവർ സോൾ, വിച്ച് വിൽ നോട്ട് മേക്ക് യുവർ സോൾ ഹാപ്പി. But what the author is saying, that you have to go behind the things that which makes you happy, and then the author is saying. He's clear in his thoughts that we should not waste our time doing things we not truly appreciate. നമ്മൾക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ വേണം ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട്. You must not do things that makes you compelled to do something. See, right now I am teaching you. I love teaching. I like to teach. But if I, as a person, if I believe that I will go for any other job which gives me more what do you say, I'll go for any other job, then will not give me maybe much satisfaction what I have today now. Then he says that we have to live our life enjoyingly, not because that just gives you monetary happiness. Okay, that is about a brief introduction about the poem, and I'll read from the textbook, page number 109. Be Drunk is a simple poem, and this is the poem advises the readers to pursue wine, to pursue poetry, or to pursue virtue. And you have to be passionate about it. What you are pursuing, you have to be passionate about it. In order to withstand the attack of time, in order to defend the attack of time, you have to pursue what you love. That is what. Even if it is drinking that gives you more happiness, you go and drink. Even if poetry gives you happiness, you go and write or you go and read. Even if virtue, being virtuous or being righteous in the right path, or following morality, or following or honesty, or you like when you want to help other people, that makes you happy and satisfied, you go for that. And then you have to, then you can withstand the attack of time. Attack എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ time is portrayed as an enemy അല്ലേ? Attack of time എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ time is portrayed as an enemy here, or time is like an enemy അല്ലേ? So here time is portrayed as an enemy, so we can say poet has used metaphor. Metaphorically he said time is an enemy, and time is personified as an enemy or a tyrant that breaks your back and bends you down. The poetic persona is a bohemian who urges the readers to be passionate about anything that will make life much more meaningful. You have to pursue things which makes your life meaningful, which make your life meaningful and enjoyable. Not just your life should be a monotonous thing, a dull thing, or a repetitious way of living life. നമ്മളിപ്പം ഡേ ടു ഡേ ഇപ്പോൾ പല ആൾക്കാരുടെയും ലൈഫ് നമ്മൾ എടുക്കുകയാണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, people go behind engineering. ഒരുപാട് കുട്ടികൾ, ഇപ്പം അല്ല ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത്, ഒരു few years back, ഒരു 10 years back, students were rushing into the field of engineering. എത്ര എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജസ് ആ പോപ്പപ്പ് ചെയ്ത് വന്നത് അല്ലേ? സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് were just running behind engineering, the stream of engineering. എന്നിട്ട് കുറേ സപ്ലൈ അടിച്ചിട്ട് കുട്ടികൾ പുറത്തിറങ്ങി, കുറേ പേര് മൊണറ്റനസ് ആയിട്ട് ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നു, ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഇല്ലാണ്ട് ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നു. എന്നിട്ട് ഒരുപാട് പേര് ആർട്ടിലോട്ട് തിരിച്ചു വരുന്നു, അവരവരുടെ ലൈഫിലേക്ക് തിരിച്ചു വരുന്നു. നമ്മൾ 3 Idiots എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ മൂവിയിൽ അതല്ലേ കാണുന്നത്, മാധവൻ്റെ ക്യാരക്ടർ എന്താണ്, ഒരു ഫോട്ടോഗ്രാഫർ ആവണം, വൈൽഡ് ലൈഫ് ഫോട്ടോഗ്രാഫി ആയിരുന്നു ആൾക്ക് ഭയങ്കര ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. ബട്ട് ഹിസ് ഫാദർ ഫോഴ്സ്ഡ് ഹിം ടു ജോയിൻ ഇൻ ദ ഫീൽഡ് ഓഫ് എൻജിനീയറിങ്. അത് ആളുടെ പാഷൻ വിട്ടിട്ടാണ് ജോലിക്ക് വരുന്നത്. അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യരുതെന്നാണ് ഓഥർ പറയുന്നത്. ചാൾസ് ബോഡലെയർ is urging us to don't do like that. Everything in nature seems to be drunk. It means everything in nature is enjoying their life. Even a bird, even a wave, even a wind, even if animals, everything are enjoying their life. അവർ നാളെക്കുറിച്ച് ചിന്തിക്കുന്നില്ല. They're not thinking about tomorrow, thinking about other different things and all. They just live their life. ആ ഒരു മോഡ് ഓഫ് ലൈഫാണ് നമ്മൾ വേണ്ടതെന്നാണ് ഓഥർ saying. See, in the Bible there is a quote. എന്താ പറയുക, വയലിലെ കിളികൾ അവ വിതയ്ക്കുന്നില്ല കൊയ്യുന്നില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടൊരു കോട്ടുണ്ട്. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ദേ ആർ നോട്ട് വറീഡ് അബൌട്ട് ഫ്യൂച്ചർ, ടുമോറോ, ദേ ആർ നോട്ട് വറീഡ്. ബട്ട് ആസ് ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീങ്സ് നമുക്ക് വറി ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് ആവശ്യമാണ് അല്ലേ? നമ്മൾ വി മസ്റ്റ് നോട്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് ബിലീവ്, വി ജസ്റ്റ് നോട്ട് ഗോ ബിഹൈൻഡ് എവറിത്തിങ് ദറ്റ് മേക്സ് യു ഇൻടോക്സിക്കേറ്റഡ്. അങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ചിന്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ബട്ട് ആസ് വി ഹാവ് ടു സ്റ്റഡി ചാൾസ് ബോഡലെയർ, നമ്മളങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കുന്നു. Then when everything in nature seems to be drunk and seems to exhort man to get drunk, they inspires us to follow what we want to do. When the effect of the drink subsides, it is time to drink again. ഒരു ഇൻടോക്സിക്കേഷൻ ഒരു ടൈം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഇഫക്റ്റ് സബ്സൈഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ യു ഹാവ് ടു ഡ്രിങ്ക് അഗൈൻ. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ഒരു പോയട്രി ആണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ലൈഫ്, നിങ്ങളുടെ പാഷൻ എങ്കിൽ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ ആണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ലൈഫ്, നിങ്ങളുടെ പാഷൻ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇഫ് യു വാണ്ട് ടു ബി എ ഫിലിം ഡയറക്ടർ, ഒരു ഫിലിം ഫിലിം ആക്ടർ അതാണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ പാഷൻ എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കുറച്ച് നേരം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ആ പാഷൻ അങ്ങ് വിട്ട് കളയാണ്ട് എഗെയിൻ ബി മോർ പാഷനറ്റ് ടുവേർഡ്സ് ഇറ്റ്. ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് നമുക്ക് ഈ ഡ്രിങ്കിങ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സംഭവം നമ്മുടെ ലൈഫായിട്ട് കണക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്. He imbues the word drink with newer connotations, different connotations we can use it. Perhaps the poetic person is disillusioned with the way lives are lived in the city. ആൾക്കാർ മോഡേൺ ലൈഫിൽ ജീവിക്കാൻ മറന്നു പോകുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഓഥർ സ്പീക്കിംഗ് ഹിയർ. Be drunk. You have to be always drunk. That's all there is to it. It is the only way, so as not to feel the horrible burden of time that breaks your back and bends you to the earth. You have to be continually drunk. You have to be in the stage of drunkenness. You have to be in the stage of intoxication. Every time you have to get involved which makes you intoxicated, which makes you more passionate. See, breaks your back ennu പറഞ്ഞിട്ടൊരു ഇതുണ്ട്. That's all there is. It is only the way. See, you have to be always drunk. That's all there is to it. It is the only way to live the life. Not to feel, so as not to feel the horrible burden of time. Time എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നിങ്ങളുടെ എനിമി ആവരുതെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ must not be your enemy. If it must not be a burden, must not be a burden, you have to follow what you want to follow. You have to go behind the things that you are passionate about. And don't go, if time is something, if your enemy, it breaks your back and bends you to the earth. Breaks your back എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ഫ്രേസ് രവീന്ദ്രനാഥ് ടാഗോറിൻ്റെ ഫ്രീഡം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പോയത്തിലുമുണ്ട്. സോ ജസ്റ്റ് മേക്ക് എ നോട്ട് ഓൺ ദാറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, ദർ ഇസ് എൻ ഇൻ്റർടെക്ച്വൽ ഒരു റെഫറൻസ് ഉണ്ട് അത്. ദെൻ you have to be continually drunk. You have to be always at the stage of intoxication. ലഹരി പിടിച്ച അവസ്ഥ, ഒരു മത്ത പിടിച്ച അവസ്ഥയിലായിരിക്കണം എപ്പോഴും. Not just drinking, but for your passions, your hobbies, anything that makes you more passionate. But on what? And he's asking, എന്തിലായിരിക്കണം ഇത്രയും പാഷനേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു ഡ്രങ്കന്നസ് സ്റ്റേജിൽ ഉണ്ടാവേണ്ടത്? Maybe on wine, if wine gives you more intoxication, or maybe on poetry or on virtue, or any goodness or righteousness or any honesty or anything that makes you more passionate. But be drunk, always in the stage of drunkenness. And if sometimes on the steps of palace or the green grass of a ditch, in the mournful solitude of your room, you wake again, drunkenness already diminishing or gone. Ask the wind, the wave, the star, the bird, the clock, everything that is flying, everything that is groaning, everything that is rolling, everything that is singing, everything that is speaking. Ask what time it is. And wind, wave, star, bird, clock will answer you. It is time to be drunk, so as not to be the martyred slaves of time. Be drunk. Be continually drunk on wine, on poetry, or on virtue, as you wish. It doesn't follow any rhythmic pattern like the old റൈറ്റിംഗ് സ്റ്റൈൽ നോ അല്ലേ. റൊമാൻറ്റിക് പീരീഡിലെയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അഗസ്റ്റൻ പീരീഡിലെയോ ഒരു എന്താ പറയുക, ഒരു റിത്തമിക് പാറ്റേൺ ഒന്നും ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ പ്രൊസൈക് ഹോം, ഒരു മോഡേണിസ്റ്റ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് വൈ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് മോഡേണിസ്റ്റ് ഇൻ സെൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. മോഡേൺ പോയട്രി ഒരിക്കലും ഇറ്റ് ഡസൻറ്റ് ഫോളോ എനി റിത്തമിക് പാറ്റേൺ അല്ലേ. ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു പ്രൊസൈക് ഫോമിലാണ് മോഡേൺ പോയട്രി പോകുന്നത്. Yes, so already author has said to be drunk on wine, to be drunk on poetry, or to be drunk on virtue. And if sometimes, and now he is going to speak about, if you are in the steps of a palace, that means if you are a very rich person, or in the green grass of a ditch, or you are in a poor person, you are in a ditch, in the mournful solitude of your room, if you are in a solitude or confinement of your room, you just thinking about your past and all, or about your future, you are in a mournful situation, you wake again. After the drunkenness, after the intoxication is over, you just wake. Maybe you'll be in a palace, or maybe you'll be in a ditch, or you'll maybe in your room. You wake after the intoxication, that spirit. You just wake up. Then you ask the wind. Again, you ask the wind, or you ask the wave, or you ask the star, the bird, the clock. Clock means maybe a sun, we can say. കാരണം സണ്ണാണ്, സൂര്യനാണ് നമുക്ക് ടൈമിൻ്റെ ഒരു സ്പെസിഫിക് സംഭവം വരുന്നത് സൂര്യൻ്റെ ഉദയവും അസ്തമയവും ആണ്. ക്ലോക്ക് മേ ബി സൺ. Everything that is flying is deeply connecting to the nature. Everything that is flying, or everything that is groaning or making any sound, everything that is rolling, it was again going towards nature. Everything that is singing, again bird. Everything that is speaking, or animals, or anything, bird or anything can speak അല്ലേ. നമുക്ക് വേവ്സ് സംസാരിക്കുന്നതായിട്ട് പറയാൻ പറ്റും, നേച്ചർ ഇറ്റ്സെൽഫ് സംസാരിക്കുന്നതായിട്ട് പറയാൻ പറ്റും, വിൻഡ് സംസാരിക്കുന്നതായിട്ട് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. ആസ്ക് വാട്ട് ടൈം ഇറ്റ് ഇസ്. യു ജസ്റ്റ് ആസ്ക് ദം വാട്ട് ടൈം ഇറ്റ് ഇസ്, ആൻഡ് വിൻഡ്, star, bird, clock will answer you. Ellarum what they may be going to tell you, it is time to be drunk, it is time to get intoxicated. Intoxication ennu paranja sambodhil ninnum നിങ്ങൾ മാറരുത്. You have to be always passionate about things which makes you intoxicated. Then you will not be the martyred slaves of time. Then നിങ്ങൾ ഒരിക്കലും ടൈമിൻ്റെ സ്ലേവ്സ് ആവില്ല. You will going to live the life. Be continually drunk. Be passionate about it. Be passionate about your life. On wine, on drinking wine, on poetry, or on virtue, as you wish. എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിലും, that is up to you. But you have to be passionate. You have to be intoxicated by doing those things. That is what the author says. So almost this is a simple poem he has written in a condensed form, but he has just conveyed his full emotions. No, he just conveyed his life also through this poetry, that he is a person who loves drinking. That is, we can really understand from it. Yes, so through star, through bird, or through everything that is flying, everything that is rolling, singing, he gives us the examples of things in nature that are living their life to the fullest, and they do things according to their own will. There is no monetary intention or material intention behind those things in nature. And he's asking, drinking means, I already told you, is asking us to get addicted to the kind of work we love. That is what he says. And people, we know that people just avoid their favorite things in their life, and they're just behind all those monetary things, but don't go like that. And Be Drunk, that's a poem which was published in 1869 in Paris Spleen, collection of short prose poems called Paris Spleen lana idu adiyayittu publish cheythathu. And again, coming back to the poem, he asks us to do what all things that encourages, what all things that makes us intoxicated, and you have to live your life more meaningfully. And he asks us to pour our passions into our souls with beautiful things that make us always happy or always delightful. Then he asks us to celebrate life. അതാണ് ആള് മെയിനായിട്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. Be drunk in your talents, or be drunk in your love, anything. Be drunk in universe, be drunk in nature, be drunk in photography, be drunk in dance, be drunk in studying, be drunk in literature, be drunk in whatever makes you more happy. Time is portrayed as enemy, I already told you. And time as a metaphor he has used. Then people just live their life as slaves of time. So as we must not do that. We have to be always be passionate about the things we should do, or go for the things that you love. ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താ പറയുക, പാഷനേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സംഭവത്തിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എത്തിച്ചേരാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്താണോ കയ്യിലുള്ളത് അതിൽ പാഷനേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ജീവിതം ജീവിച്ച് തീർക്കുക. ഇറ്റ് മസ്റ്റ് നോട്ട് ബി ലൈക്ക് ജീവിതം വെറുതെ ജീവിച്ച് തീർക്കല്ല, ജീവിതം സെലിബ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് ജീവിക്കുക. Okay, so that's it about today's Be Drunk, and we will meet again with another class. Thank you.